Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. Um, is it all right if I jump right in with my questions?
Yeah, of course.
All right, perfect. I watched Esme, My Love, I want to say about a week or so ago now, but it still very much resonates with me. So I first wanted to just say thank you so much for being a part of such a profound and artistic film.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. It's so nice to hear good feedback.
How did you come to be a part of this movie?
So I got an email to audition. And then I self-taped, I think it was 3 short scenes that same day. And then there was a bit of a couple rounds of callbacks that were, I think, just with the producers and Corey. And then we had a final round that was chemistry that was in Prospect Park where we worked with I think I only auditioned with Audrey and then one other girl.
Oh,
So but it was really cool. Like we filmed in Prospect Park with an entire crew. Everyone was off book. So it was a really fun process. Oh.
that is cool. That's cool. Um, Was there anything in particular about the script or the story that really drew you in and made you want to be a part of it?
I really loved how Hannah had such a journey in the sense that one, she starts out with like this love and concern for her daughter, and at the same time also wanting to have this adventure and sharing her home. And she has such a steep change within the script, and that one is challenging and exciting, and then as well as that, it's a two-hander, which is its own challenge. For a feature film, normally you have a lot more characters, and it's all in the woods. I think we only did the farmhouse scene, and I guess if you count that rickety basement as indoors, then that we really only had those were the two indoor scenes, and that was it.
Um,
Yeah.
um, how did you prepare to play Hannah?
I I did a lot of things that I think most actors do, which is, breaking down the script analysis. But then I kind of went a little bit one step further because I was nervous. I'd never done a feature film where I was one of the leads. And because it's so many scenes, so many of the scenes are in the same location, I was worried that my brain wouldn't latch on to the specifics of each things. And I didn't trust myself to just remember what I had practiced. So I had these little note cards that I had put like all the details, like intentions, like what was going on in the scene, so that once we got the call sheets, I could just grab my little flashcard right before to remind myself to get me in the place so that I wouldn't have to be thinking, oh, where is this in the script? Wait, what just happened? How do we do this? Because we don't shoot in order, and it's
Mm,
so that was one of the main ways I prepared. And then we also had rehearsals, which was nice.
nice, nice. The note cards thing is really smart.
Yeah, very helpful.
Um, Kind of at the core of this movie is the mother-daughter relationship, and I was just wondering if there was anything that you drew from your real life to bring into this character.
It's funny you say that because I'm not a mother in real life, but I have a dog and a cat, and I love them. Like, I don't know if it's like children, but it's the closest thing I know to children, and I get insanely overbearing and protective over them. And so that was my initial substitution connection. But then once we started working with Audrey, obviously the way that you're handling a child and moving around, a child's body is not the same as a pet. So you're not going to grab them the same way. And Heidi, Audrey's mother, was on set. So she kind of helped me to realize that, because I was so worried about breaking her because she was so tiny. So I kept touching her too, like very delicately. And mothers obviously they handle their kids a little firmer than what I was doing at first. So luckily Heidi was there to train me and also give me permission along with Audrey's permission to handle her more like a mother's daughter.
That's funny. I feel the same way about my cat, so I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Um, once you got comfortable being in this motherly role to a human, what was it like working with Audrey?
It was great. Audrey is, as you obviously know, just a really phenomenal actress, and she's very instinctual and fun to play with. And so she's just very in the moment, which is just nice. Yeah, yeah. So I really enjoyed working with her.
How old was she when you filmed the movie?
I think she was 8 or 9, but I
Oh wow.
mean, she was a tiny 8 or 9. She
Yeah.
was really little.
Um, and this role is very physically taxing, emotionally taxing for you. What was it like working with such a role and kind of throwing your 100% into it?
It was exciting. I was worried that I was going to be exhausted, and I kept this so disgusting, but I would have garlic that I would take at night, and I would eat raw garlic at night because I was so worried I was going to get sick or something. And I guess I read somewhere that raw garlic makes you not be sick. And so in my brain, that was my little placebo that I would take every night. And then obviously I would do warm-ups the day of so that I'm just present. And it helped that we had, Corey and did a good job planning the schedule so that some of the intense stuff, like a lot of the repetitive digging or the shovel fight scene, those things were kind of their own meal. And like the swimming was its own meal of a day. So it's not like I'm going from that to a fun soup scene or walking around. So it was nice that how they built the schedule. I think that helped.
Yeah, that's great. Um, Speaking of like the swimming scene, you had a pretty big part just underwater. And I spoke to Corey a few days ago about it and said that you took it like a champ. Um, how do you prepare yourself to film underwater and just kind of be comfortable doing all of that?
Well, what's funny is, so initially we filmed it at the lake, and so it was underwater at the lake, and that was kind of hard because one, it was shallow, so you had to, like, pretending to drown in shallow water is quite hard. Or to reach, because you're like, I can literally touch, this is kind of hard to fake. And also the water wasn't super clear, but luckily or unluckily those shots didn't turn out because of a camera leak, and I think the casing that we had for the camera.
Wow.
We had to do actually a pickup day in a swimming pool, which I've done underwater modeling. And so I have a lot of
Cool.
experience in the water, and it was fun for me. I could have done it all day. I was like, this is great. I get to act underwater. I don't just have to like pose and
That's awesome.
yeah. So I didn't have to do much preparation. I was worried though in the lake. I was trying to figure out how to make, because in the lake it was also really cold, so we had a wetsuit on,
Yeah.
which is its own added layer of a wetsuit on top of your outfits. So I guess I was fortunate that it didn't work out at the lake, because those shots probably wouldn't have been great.
Probably not. Lake water tends to be very murky.
Yeah.
So underwater modeling, how do you get into that?
It was really random, actually. When I first moved to the city, I was pretty broke. And so I signed up for this site called Model Mayhem. And it has a lot of the thing where they say it's like time for print and stuff. And so pretty early on, I met this woman named Mary Durante Yout, and she's so fun, but she would do underwater modeling in her, I think it was her sister-in-law's backyard. And so I don't know, 4 or 5 times every summer, I would go out there with her and just like put on dresses. She'd have a makeup artist and we just go play in the water for hours. And so I kind of got into it randomly. I felt very lucky that I found Mary on that site because I didn't find a whole lot of other people.
That that is just like a random thing to find online, but I'm glad you got into it because
Yeah.
it's crossed over now into cinema.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, was there any aspect of playing Hannah that you found particularly challenging?
I found I found some of the scenes that I was really worried that it was going to be a lot of the same behavior, because a lot in the script and a lot of the action of what she's doing is looking into Esme and seeing if there's something wrong. And I was really worried that I was going to do the same thing on repeat. And so that was something that I was concerned about a lot. And I found challenging to be like, okay, how can I find a way to make sure that I'm not always making the same face or like looking at her, inspecting her in the same way? Like, how is there going to be differences within that aspect? Because it's such a repeating aspect of this script and the character. And so that was challenging. And then also some of the physical stuff, like the digging was challenging. I think I got, oh no, I didn't even think of the prosthetics. That's the most challenging. There we go. Sorry.
No,
I
it's
just
all
took
good.
you through a lot of challenges.
It's all good. It was a challenging role, so I kind of feel like that was a bit of a loaded question to ask. Um, kind of opposite of that, what was your favorite part of playing her?
Oh, favorite? I think it was just fun, one, to be in the woods, two, to get to play with such talented people. I mean, Fletcher's just an amazing cinematographer. Audrey's such a good actor. Corey's so specific and knows what he wants, which is really great. And you're just in a fucking stunning location. So in general, all of that was wonderful. But I really loved the basement scene. That's my favorite scene, the Peaches scene.
It was a good scene.
Yeah, that was one of the audition scenes. And I was like, please don't cut this scene. This is my favorite scene.
I love that. Um, so what's up next for you?
I just finished filming in the fall a couple short films. So hopefully they'll come out sometime soon. I think they're all still being edited. And then I'm in very early pre-production for a feature film that I'm producing and acting in,
Nice.
which is exciting and nerve-wracking.
I can guess. I can guess that's why. Are you allowed to say like the title of the film yet?
Yeah, it's called The Rugged Cross. All the info for that will eventually be on my website, which is just staceyweckstein.biz.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. Um, my last question is just very open-ended. Is there anything else you'd like to add about Esme My Love?
Oh, you can find out all the details to check it out on esmemylove.com starting June 2nd. I think it should list all of the places that you can view it at.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Great. Thank you so much. Thank you for chatting, and again, thank you for being a part of such a great film.
Yeah, no, thank you for interviewing me. It's been lovely to meet you.
Of course, of course. It was nice meeting you too.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye bye.
Bye.